January the 12th, 2010. A day of terrible misfortune that we'll never forget. From the rubble, hope rose for a new Haiti. 5 years later, yes, Haiti has changed, but for us who struggle the most in poverty, life has become more difficult. Still, with our own strength and resources, we keep holding on. January the 12th, 2010 brought us misfortune, and at the same time, a lot of hope.
Everyone was talking reconstruction. We dreamed of a new Haiti for all our children. We were hoping for a change, a total change, a country rebuilt. Work for all, no more refugee camps, a roof for every family, new public buildings, schooling for all children, no more children living in the street, safety and security, and a great deal of solidarity. Today, this hope is but a memory.
Many promises were made, but aid wasn't distributed fairly.
After
January the 12th, I thought life was over. But when I saw the international aid coming in, I started hoping again. Some people came to my house and told me we'd get assistance. They asked for our names, how many people lived in the house, how much money we spent per day. I thought they'd give us work, but they never came back.
They asked me to flatten out a piece of land where they would build a house. I prepared the land, but no one ever came back.
To get help, either you had to be part of an organization, have a type of sponsor who would get you in, or be willing to join up with a clique managing distributions.
Some things have changed, but not everyone has benefited.
The public buildings are being rebuilt, but it's not we who are in deepest poverty who are working on the construction sites. Overpasses are being built, beaches have been cleaned up, they're building airports, but us, we're still in extreme poverty.
We can't say that nothing has changed. There have been some changes in working-class neighborhoods in the Martissant area. Paths have been laid out to link neighborhoods. Solid stairways make it easier to walk. There's public lighting. There's a space fit out for waste disposal. A water tower was built. And a nice park was put in. Some families obtained a small prefabricated shelter. Unfortunately, some of these buildings are already starting to rot away.
The day after the earthquake, a lot of people fled to the refugee camps. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, got the majority of them out by giving them money. But really, this money covered only 1 year of rent. That means that some people are again homeless.
The earthquake has affected us for life.
Even today, some people react to the slightest strange noise and are ready to take off running. The earthquake masked all of our little complexes. Our behavior changed.
My house collapsed, and I had to go and sleep at my neighbor's. I wasn't used to sleeping in a space with others. Before, it's something I wouldn't have done. I also learned how to speak with others, to be at ease with them. Everyone was in the streets. We all ate together. We all got on really well.
Before, I looked down on little houses made of sheet metal. On January the 12th, my house was completely destroyed. I rebuilt a little house with what I found in the rubble. I don't make fun anymore of sheet metal housing. I respect others more, because now I'm aware of how fragile life really is.
Cyclone passé fin dommagé, tremblement de fin ravagé. Est-ce qu'on va besoin espérer, espérer, espérer?
For those of us most affected by poverty, life is even more difficult now.
Most of us had some place to sleep. The earthquake took everything away. Some of us had to take shelter in makeshift housing where daily life was really tough. We were spared nothing. Theft, our daughters being sexually assaulted. Many of us lost the odd jobs that had allowed us to support our families.
The city center, where a lot of families were able to eke out a living, doesn't work the same way anymore. A lot of markets were destroyed and opened elsewhere. It's become much too dangerous to go to the big markets, like the one in Croix des Beaux-Salles. But for those of us whose lives are so difficult, these types of markets allowed us to find food for our families. Nowadays, street vendors have fewer customers because people have less money to spend, so they're exhausted from walking for miles with heavy baskets on their heads. And then there was the cholera outbreak a few months after the earthquake that made our lives even more difficult.
The solidarity that existed before and came to light just after the earthquake isn't the same at all today.
It's really hard to send our children to school. There are still lots of hurdles to overcome so that our children can attend school regularly.
We think
that one of the reasons why this situation has become so difficult is that the state didn't set up structures that would pinpoint things that weren't working in our country. There are no programs where people in poverty can genuinely participate.
Haïti, maman chérie, l'eau coulée dans jour pour la pluie. Faut pas oublier un jour forti, misère gain pour le fini. Haïti, maman chérie, l'eau coulée dans jour pour la pluie. Faut pas oublier un jour faut me garder ou pas le garder au cas souris. Haïti crasé Koumira, Jéricho. C'est dans tout pays drame ça fait écho. D'où je viens pas mourir son monde nouveau. Tout doit c'est pour bon Dieu lever dans le pivot.
Non-stop, we keep up the struggle. We don't stop to catch a breath.
We never stop struggling. That's our greatest weapon. Just to keep on living means one sacrifice after another. Sometimes we have to borrow money from lending offices who have very high interest rates. Sometimes from specific people where interest rates are exorbitant. And that's just to buy something to sell in the streets. Or we have to do housework for private people. We have to find something. There are so many things to pay: rent, school, and we have to eat every day.
It's often the solidarity among us, the support from a neighbor who gives us a helping hand, that allows us to keep going. We did what we could to rebuild our badly damaged houses. Some of us recovered material from the rubble from the earthquake to make a shelter where we could sleep with our children.
We too, children who live in the streets, we do what we have to in order to survive. We clean out pots and pans for street vendors, shine shoes, open bags of second-hand clothing, clean cars. That's how we cope with a hard life.
Holding on to our dignity, we refuse to give up struggling for ourselves and our children. For the situation to change, first we have our trust in God, and then we must create unity amongst us. We can't expect change to come from others.
Oh, oh.